Welcome back to Ouch Was That a Ghost? Or if this is your first time, welcome. With the holidays right around the corner, I figured we should do some sort of holiday themed episode. And so I asked my new co-host of Creep It Weird to come on over and do a little holiday cryptids for us. So welcome back yet again, Natasha. I can't wait to hear the Christmas cryptids you're bringing.
So for those of you who are not watching the full video, go check it out. We are rocking our reindeer antlers and our little ears and our little noses for the holidays. So first of all, Merry Quizquantica, because I never know what to call it. There's always all these different ones. So I just blurred them all together. And also we have Creep It Weird that just came out a few weeks ago. So we're doing that adventure together. Let's start off. Gotta get in the mood, right? So while the weather outside is frightful, this pod is so delightful. I had to put that in there. I don't know why I was thinking about it. But we are feeling a little frigidly festive this episode. We're kind of going on, hordes of holidays surround the season across countless countries and celebrated both by traditional and talismanic traditions. This year, however, we're going to go back, we're going to go in, and we're going to go over the lore of the Yule lads and the Yule cat. So I know that you have some information on this. You've kind of covered it again with me before. I think you've kind of touched base on it, done some research on it maybe before. Have you done Yule lads yet? Or is that just with me?
I did it a long time ago, but I don't know if you know this about me. When I research things the week of, I know everything. But ask me a week later, and I'm like, what? Who's that?
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about.
Never heard of it.
We're in the right place. So fill up your cup with cocoa, light your fires, roast your chestnuts, and let's begin with a little background. In Iceland, there is a midwinter holiday known as Yule. Not Yule, but Yule. Whereas, we're more statistically familiar with the Old English or Germanic, which is the Yuletide. A lot of people know about that one. So you have the Christmas, you got Quantica, you've got, what else you got?
Hanukkah.
I feel like there's another one in there somewhere, but Yuletide is definitely a big one that a lot of people know about. Back in the day, I mean, a lot of times it still is now, but back in the day, primarily, it was a time of great gatherings, flavorful feasts, and celebrating with circles of family and friends alike. But also, back in the day, you celebrated with both the living and the dead. Mm-hmm. You also were said to have elves, trolls, and countless curious, creepy creatures that were brought into the fold of the festivities over the years. One big one being, Krampus, Yule lads, Yule cat. Then you have the Winter Witch, which we just covered last week. Well, we covered on Creep It Weird, which I think will come out. I think it came out last week when this episode airs. But we're going to kind of start our story off here with one interesting couple, which is Gryla and Baluli, I think is how you pronounce that name.
Sounds right.
Yeah, so Gryla has been identified as a gigantic giantress, a troublesome troll, an outlandish ogre, or just a plain old wretched witch, which I feel like everybody got a bad rap and was called a witch at some point back in the day. Somebody called you a witch at some point.
Mm-hmm.
And she's said to kind of live in an isolated and not so cozy cave and comes to town set on stealing children that misbehave. Unlike the famous Hansel and Gretel, however, these kids are cooked up by method of being brutally boiled alive and simmered into a stew. Because didn't she bake hers in the oven?
Yeah, she threw them in the oven. Well, tried to.
Put them in the oven for Laloopy and me. The written accounts of this mischievous monster started showing up in the 13th century, but oral renditions of these characters are said to have started long before that, so nobody really has a set time on when they believe this came into lore. And I'm going to read this off here in a second, but I want to touch base. Have you seen the movie Red One? Came out, last year? I think last Christmas?
I have.
Such a good movie.
It was.
Such a good movie. And I felt like they took those characters and nailed it. So Gryla was in there. Krampus is in there. The Yule lads are in there. I was a little disappointed the Yule cat was not in it.
Yeah.
And I feel like they could have gotten a little more detailed with the Yule lads as far as what they do and all of that. But don't worry, we're going to get into that here. But if you haven't seen Red One, watch it. And I've got this description. It's coming from a poem, and it tries to give us a little better idea of what her appearance was at the time. And if you watch the movie, you'll see a lot of this actually correlates. I think they did a very good job depicting her in the movie. The description starts with, "Here comes Gryla down in the field with 15 tails on her." So there's one. We've got 15 tails. Then down comes Gryla from the outer fields with 40 tails, a bag on her back, a sword, knife in her hand, coming to carve out the stomachs of the children who cry for meat during Lent, which is very morbid.
So she goes from 15 to 40 tails?
Yes.
Where are they coming from? They're just growing randomly?
I don't know if this is two separate.
All right.
It was, I think it was two separate poems, though, that I found. One said 15, one said 40. She's coming down. She's got a sack over her back. So it's kind of like a mix between, I mean, I guess Krampus doesn't really steal the kids. Krampus beats them with a stick, doesn't he?
I think he puts them in the bag, though, after, doesn't he?
But I thought he just brought the switch and just beat kids with it.
Again, once I cover things, they go out of my mind.
Because I don't know what else he would do with them.
I thought he just collected them in the bag.
Collecting corpses in his little Christmas bag, the Christmas corpse bag.
Different people have different hobbies.
Yeah, I'm going to definitely yuck that yum, though, because I'm definitely not about that. But then again, so we've got that. She's got a knife and sword in her hand. She's coming to, carve people up, steal them, and then she's going to cook them later. It's even said that she ate one of her husbands just because she got bored with him.
Okay, I can see that.
Eating him just because you're bored.
Well, listen, I always said if I was born way back when women did not have the rights that they do now, I would get married, I would murder my husband, and then I'd be a widow. So then I could pretty much do what I want.
And then you remarry, kill your husband.
You don't even have to. Once you're a widow, you have like that, okay, she can do what she wants. She doesn't have to have like people accompanying her anywhere. She can have her own money.
Yeah, but where's she going to get the money if she can't work?
My dead husband. Make sure you marry rich.
You didn't say that part. I just figured it'd take more than one to get to the level of income that you need to suffice.
Well, if you need more, rinse and repeat.
Lather, rinse, and repeat. I like that one. So, eating boring husbands aside, one thing I thought was kind of funny was that she got the reputation for lurking around town and begging the townspeople to turn over their naughty children. Like, knock, knock, who's there, like peeping out from behind a shadowy corner or something and being like, give me your naughty kids and I'll eat them or something. Or like, you don't want those naughty kids anymore. They're nothing but trouble. All this stuff. Give them to me and I'll take care of it for you. Seems outlandish, but think about back in the day when we had the Great Depression. People were selling their children.
Yeah.
To feed their other children.
And I remember when my kids were toddlers, if they caught me on the right day knocking, asking that question, I might say, yeah, who knows?
Oh, I would 100% in most days. Well, some days. My kid's actually pretty decent.
No, now, but during like the terrible twos, all that.
Oh my gosh. I have this video of my kid on the floor in his footed pajamas, just red faced and screeching at the top of his lungs that he didn't want to be in timeout. And he's just in the middle of the kitchen floor.
My son, my little one, when we used to go out, if anyone called him cute or handsome, he'd cry his eyes out and say, I don't want to be cute. I want to be funny.
Oh,
and he'd lose his mind and the tantrum would last for like an hour.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely turning that one in. So she does go around and she does all that. Now, they do say that you can thwart her plans by offering her food or simply shooing her away by making chase. So you literally just chase her around or chase her off. And all I could picture was a picture of this woman chasing this fat troll and like beating her over the back of the head like with a broom, like the old straw brooms.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that's what I'm picturing. Is like, get out of my house, blah, 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 or get out of here. And they're like chasing her down the street. And I keep seeing that witch from Looney Tunes. The big fat one with the pointy hat and she's all green. Yeah, that's what I'm seeing. This one, I didn't see anything where she ate Lepaluli, but there's not a whole lot known about him either that I was able to find, aside from being like, oh yeah, like he's like a footnote in Gryla's shadow. You know what I mean?
Well, at least he was entertaining, so she didn't have to eat him.
Well, here's the problem. They think that he was primarily portrayed with Gryla to promote that good behavior amongst the children. In all the depictions that I was able to find, he was pretty much a deadbeat dad who stays like home all day and sits on his ass. I guess it's one of those just like, don't make me tell your father kind of situations. Like maybe he was just a royal douche canoe because he pretty much just sat around and did nothing is what I've gathered, which if that's the case, I'm surprised she didn't eat him.
Yeah.
But they must have been doing something right and were at least tolerable of each other because they then created 13 troll children, which were called the Yule lads.
So we know why she kept him around now.
Yes, chained in her basement or something. Or like the lady, oh my gosh, help me out here. Oh my gosh, I cannot believe I forgot this movie off the top of my head.
Misery?
Yes. I love how I don't even have to say it. Sidekick Link, me and Liss from States Away. And it has always been this way. I love it. It is perfect. And one thing I thought was funny too was it's 13 Yule lads. There's no lassies in the cards for these. It's no Yule lassies. It's just Yule lads, and they are just little shits that visit towns, harass citizens, pull pranks, and steal different items depending on their kink. I mean, they each kind of have their own little thing, which we'll get into. But basically, how it's set up is one day every day for 12 days leading up to Yuletide fun time. These guys come out. And again, we talked about in Creep It Weird the concept of the number 12. And why is 12 so prominent? Because you have the 12 here. You've got the 12 days that shows up in the Fraupersta lore. You've got the 12 days of Christmas. Then that 13th day is Christmas itself. So I don't think it's necessarily that 12 is the magic number. I think 13 is the magic number. And that 12 days before that happens.
Yep.
And another part of the lore states that if you put your shoes on the windowsill on the evening of that 13th day, it'd be the evening of the 12th day following the Christmas day. So Christmas Eve, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
If you're well behaved, you'll get a small gift in your shoe.
Ooh.
If you've been naughty, the Yule lads will leave a rotten potato in your shoe.
Rotten potato is a horrific smell.
Can you imagine that in a sweaty old shoe that's probably made of leather in the heat? Well, I mean, it'd be cold during the winter, but
the smell would still be there. That's gross.
But on the other hand, vodka?
What?
Instead of like prison wine, you've got shoe vodka.
Okay.
Because vodka's made from potatoes.
Yeah, but rotten potatoes like that?
Who knows? They got to ferment somehow, right?
I guess.
I mean, they have some coffee that is like super rare and people pay a lot of money for it. And it's essentially just like elephant shit. Did you know that?
There's one that cats eat the beans and then they poop them out, and same thing. People pay like top dollar. I'm like, I love coffee, but I am all set.
Yeah, I don't want shit coffee, like literal shit coffee. But anyway, so vodka. Drawings then depict the medieval. So basically they're in medieval Icelandic garb, but some of them actually show them in Santa-like clothes. So you either have these typical peasant-esque type, I guess, outfits, which would be what anybody wore at the time, which makes more sense. Or you have them more looking like Santa's little elves, only not acting like it. So it kind of depends on which one you look at. But as mentioned previously, starting on December 12th, one lad comes out each night until Christmas, leaving chaos and the occasional mess in their wake. Then in the same order, they reveal themselves. One leaves each day, starting with Christmas. So we have the 12 before, and then they slowly start trickling off as the holidays pass for the 12 days after. But now we're going to get into a little bit deeper of a dive into each of these troublesome little Yule lads to see what it is that they do and what their problems are.
Okay.
First, we have Sheepcoat Claude.
Of course we do. Sheepcoat Claude
arrives on December 12th and he departs on December 25th. And this little bastard goes around harassing the local sheep population by just causing a ruckus. I mean, he's probably letting them out of their pens. He's probably chasing them around in their things, probably poking them with sticks. I mean, just basically just pissing off these sheep over this time period. Also, there's this unfortunate part where he's slightly impaired because he has some less than ideal peg legs.
2 peg legs?
2 little peg legs. So, like, how would you know that it's him chasing the sheep unless it's just like little spokes? It almost is like if you were to have somebody commit a crime on stilts.
I'm picturing the guy from Family Guy, like the the wooden guy.
I've not seen it.
You don't watch Family Guy?
I don't want to hear it, Little Miss. I've never seen half the shows that I watch.
All right.
Now, if it was Futurama, I'd be all over that. But yeah, so we have this little guy on these little peg legs coming in and just harassing sheep. That's his gig.
Okay.
Then we have Gully Gawk.
Gully Gawk.
Yeah, Gully Gawk arrives on the 13th and departs on the 26th. And this one likes to hide in the gullies, just waiting for the chance to sneak into a cowshed and steal the cow's milk.
Well, that's not that bad. It's just going to get some milk.
Yeah, but if your livelihood revolves around things that you're getting from your livestock, you can't afford to be. We don't know how much milk this fucker drinks.
That's what I'm wondering. Is he stealing just enough for himself or like all of it?
Exactly. Is he getting it straight from the teat? Is he milking these sons of bitches? Is he taking it in pails? What's happening here? He basically hides, waits, runs out, steals the milk, and gets out. It's like a milk heist. It's the heifer heist. Then after that comes, I love this name, Stubby.
Stubby. That sounds like it should have been the first one.
I know, that's what I was saying too. And he arrives on the 14th and he leaves on the 27th. It's a little rude of a name, right? So in stereotypical troll fashion, this fella is said to be abnormally short for his breed. He likes to steal pans that are left out and eat the remaining crust off of them, which sounds like something like a dog would do.
Right.
And then does he return the pan? Does he wash the pan? Does he leave the pan on the floor? Like, it doesn't say what happens to the pan after, except for he's eating these crusties in it.
He's taken probably the favorite pan out of every household. You know how everyone has the favorite pan that you use when you want to cook something?
Yes, that cast iron skillet.
He's the worst one so far. Yeah.
Yeah, so he's a problem. So then we have, which this one is so wrong, spoon liquor. And I bet we could guess what his guilty pleasure is at this point. His kink is obviously licking spoons. And he comes in on the 15th, leaves on the 28th, and they describe him as being exceptionally thin due to malnutrition. And as you probably guessed by now, this little trickster likes to steal and lick wooden spoons that he finds in your kitchen. So here's my thing. Why does he only use wooden spoons? But then again, back at that time frame when this was becoming a thing, they didn't have metal utensils.
I pictured when you said that you're sitting there eating your cereal and then this little fucker comes up and licks the spoon real quick and then runs away.
Yeah, like just like a drive-by. I used to know there was this dog my ex-mother-in-law had, and her name was Peanut. My kid always called him Pignut. But now she's known as Peanut because then he got to where he couldn't just say Peanut. It had to be Peanut.
Okay.
She's a little wiener dog. And this little shit, it did not matter if I was wearing shorts, pants, sandals, whatever. If she could see my tootsies, she would literally hide like under the couch, run out as fast as she could, run by my feet and lick my toes as she ran by my feet, and then take off and hide. And like, it was just the grossest thing. That's kind of what we got going on with him. And then did he bring the spoons back? Did he lick them while he was there and put them in the sink? I mean, what happened to these spoons? They would have had to have gotten the spoons back to know that they were spoon liquor, right?
Yeah, and if you know that they're around, just friggin' wash his spoons and put them away and no one's going to touch them.
Yeah, just some of the stuff doesn't make any sense, but, you know, lore's lore, we're going to go through it.
Okay.
Now, next, we have something similar. It's either called the pot scraper or the pot licker. You pot licker. Who are you calling a cootie queen? You pot licker. That is one of the best commercials I have ever seen in my entire life. Whoever came up with that for that Trident commercial or whatever, that gum commercial, that was genius. So hats off to you for starters. And then he comes in 16th. He removes himself on the 29th. And he doesn't have much of a description physically. He's just known for stealing unwashed pots, licking them clean, and then I guess putting them back. Now, my thing would be is like, would you still wash them after that?
I'd throw them in the dishwasher. I'd be like, thank you for doing the whole pre-rinse.
Back in the day, they did not have dishwashers, Melissa.
That's what the wife's for. No, I'm just kidding.
But you know what I mean, though? Like back then, before germs were a thing, would you wash it?
In hot water.
Did they, though?
I don't know if they have access to hot water.
If it was
I don't know.
Clean, would they have assumed that it was already washed?
Well, next time you cook in it, you'll get that extra tang of troll drool.
Ew, that's so gross. It's like seasoning your cast iron skillet. That's so nasty. My thing is what about the pans? So if you have pots and you have pans, we have a pot stealer. don't we? Or a pan stealer?
At the beginning, yeah.
But no liquor?
No, I guess he's just running around with them, messing up people's sets.
And you'll see we have an eye. Oh, goodness.
I know, I should have had a coffee. I keep yawning. I'm trying not to.
No, it doesn't do me any good. I just had a whole giant cup and it's not helped me out at all. You'll notice there's a similar pattern here. So next we have the bowl licker, who comes in on the 17th, bounces over around the 30th or so. And this weirdo, now here's the thing. He likes to hide under the bed, waiting for the occupant to place their esker under their bed.
Their esker.
Which I guess is a bowl of some sort. And then he steals it from underneath the bed. And this, oh, here we go. So the esker or whatever is similar to an old-timey Tupperware bowl that people would use to store food underneath their bed.
Ew, why are you putting food under your bed?
Exactly. My first thing was not sure why they would store it there. Maybe they had the midnight munchies. Did he, again, clean the bowl and leave it? Or did he take the whole bowl?
Good for him. He should take it because people shouldn't be having bowls of food under their bed. That's gross.
I concur 100% because that is nasty.
They didn't have rodent control back then. They didn't have pest control.
They also didn't have refrigeration.
But at least keep it somewhere together in the kitchen.
Maybe they didn't have a kitchen.
Put it in your drawer. Something, not under your bed. You're just waiting for ants to crawl up in there. That's nasty.
Oh, I can't even imagine how unsanitary households were back in the day. But then the next little douchebag that we have is the door slammer. So he comes in on the 18th, leaves on the 31st, and this asshat likes to run around slamming doors throughout the house, especially at night to wake people up.
That is so...
I wish you guys could see her face. This is great.
Beyond messed up. How much would that piss you off? Because you know when you get that nice, sweet spot when you're laying in bed?
Oh, yeah.
And then anytime you get up, you can't get it again. It will take you like 45 minutes to find that perfect spot again.
Yes, exactly. So there's a lot of times where I'll be like, I got to pee. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to hold it.
Exactly. And then you have to keep getting up to deal with this little asshole that's slamming doors.
Or he just wakes you up. You're in a deep sleep and he wakes you up at the last minute.
I'd be so mad because you got to get up early to milk the cow.
Yeah, well, assuming there's many milk left. Now, this next one, too, is kind of an interesting character. It's called the Skyr Gobbler. And he comes in on the 19th, leaves on the 1st of January, and he goes around eating all the skyr that he can get his hands on. And skyr is a curd that's similar to yogurt. So I'm thinking kind of like a cottage cheese type gig.
So he did leave some milk so they can make the cure.
Yeah, the skyr stuff or whatever. So I guess that makes sense. But what happens if you don't have any? What if you're skyr free in 83?
Maybe that's good. He'll go on to the next house.
That does make sense. Or would it be that he causes more of a ruckus until he gets his skyr?
Well, what does he do besides that? He just runs in, grabs it, and
no
goes,
idea,
right?
But I'm sure, what if he throws a temper tantrum? He calls in door slammer and he's like, listen here, these assholes ain't got any skyr. I'll trade you this household that's got skyr for this house that has 8 doors instead of 6.
Right.
Do we have a deal? That would 100% be my thing. And the next little one, I cannot help but laugh, is literally called the sausage swiper.
Swiper, no swiping.
Swiper, no swiping. And he gets here on the 20th, departs on the 2nd, and he's kind of thought to be a rafter stowaway that waits and snatches sausage as they're being smoked. So you walk into the smoking house, because back then, they would put the stuff in the house, they would hang the meats in the shack, and that's how they would cure them. So this guy, there's rafters on top of this building, and he was said to be hiding in them. And then he would kind of swoop down, steal the sausages, and then eat them. Which if I was a Yule lad, this would probably be me. That came out worse than I thought. I would be the sausage swiper.
You can't take it back, Natasha. You know what you meant.
No take backs. That's not what I meant. But I was just thinking that I like to eat sausages or the milk guy. I'd probably be the milk guy or the sausage stealer or sausage swiper. Now, so we have him. Next is literally the total fucking creep. He's called the window peeper. Comes in on the 21st, leaves on the 3rd, and he slinks around, around the windows and around your house, looking for items that he can steal. And for a second there, I was a little concerned as the window peeper, thinking that he was,
a perv.
Getting a little Peepee Tom-esque. But that's not the case.
But he's just a klepto.
Scouting the perimeter for his own heist that is not of the heifer variety.
All right.
So he's just kind of scoping out the thing. I don't know if he's actually going to go steal anything or if he's just looking at like window shopping, like you said.
That would be weirder if he didn't steal anything.
That's exactly what I'm saying. But like, it doesn't say that he stole it. Although if he's looking to steal, maybe he is getting, I don't know. But the next one is, ready? The doorway sniffer. Yep, comes in 22nd, leaves on the 4th. And this one is described as having this huge schnoz. I mean, this thing's got like this monster nose. And it allows him to have this amazing sense of smell. And he uses his talent to sniff out leaf bread, which is made from a thin wafer-like dough. And families get together to make this decorative bread and even hang it in the windows around Christmas time. So similar to when you get those pieces of paper, which is probably where this came from. You get those pieces of paper, you fold them up, you cut it out, and you make those snowflakes. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I pictured the bread that they made the dough and then they used a knife to like draw the leaf into it and then bake it.
Oh, no, this is it's leaf bread. That's what it's made of. It's like a thin, think of if you ever did communion in a church where they just gave you that little paper wafer that's supposed to be food, I think.
Yeah.
And it's real thin. That's what I'm thinking, only bigger, and it's like decorated.
Okay.
Like where they cut the pieces out. That's what I'm seeing. I guess it could be both. I don't know why you would carve a leaf in a thing of bread and bake it. Like a whole loaf of bread? Is that what you're saying? Or like a pie crust? Or
have you never made bread before and then you make a design on the top? You literally just take a knife. Once you let it proof, you can take a knife and literally draw like a little tree or a leaf in it and then bake it. And then when it comes out, it has that indent on the top.
Never thought to do that. Next time I make bread, I'll have to try to remember that. I don't know when the next time I make bread is going to be. I used to do it all the time when I was an all-American housewife.
What I always wanted to do was sourdough, but it smells so bad, and
Ew.
I feel like it would gross me out if I did it.
Yeah, and then it'd like ruin sourdough for you.
Yeah, because you got to like keep it alive and feed it and all that.
But I mean, this particular one, though, I mean, I can't really... He's sniffing out bread. Bread smells spectacular, so I can't really blame this guy, right?
But he's not just sniffing bread. You said he's sniffing doorways.
Well, he's sniffing doorways, but he's trying to hunt down the bread.
All right, well, I understand him, because if I smell some really good food, you know what? I'm hunting it down too.
Exactly. So we have 2 left here. The second to last one is Meat Hook, which just sounds like a freaking murderous character in a movie, like some kind of horror character.
I know what you did last summer.
Yeah. He comes in on the 23rd, leaves on the 5th, and it says that he has a hook in his hand. Like he's got a little hook. And he steals, well, it just says he has a hook and he steals meat. So he like runs by and like swoops at the meat. I wonder if he's fighting with Sausage Swiper in the thing. Maybe there's all these meats and Sausage Swiper gets the sausages and this guy gets everything else. But it doesn't really specify. I'm picturing him with a hook hand. Or is he just holding a hook? I don't know.
He may have one of those like grabber things, but it has a hook on the end of it.
Like when you can't put your shoes on, one of those like shoehorn things or whatever, but it's got a little hook on the end.
No, you know the little toys that you squeeze and it has the little clamp at the end?
Or what if it's like a Bo Peep hook?
Mm-hmm.
You know, like when they yank you off the stage if you're a poor comedian kind of gig.
I'd be him now. The amount of money that meat costs at the supermarket now.
Oh my gosh, yeah, I'm like, that's why my kid kills ours.
I understand why he does it, so I
get it. Yeah, that tracks. I don't know, I'd still be tossed up with the milk guy, but we'll get into that one probably in a little bit. But lastly of the Yule lads, we have the candle stealer. And this jackass follows children around so that he can steal their candles. And that is because candles back in the day were made for the stuff called tallow, which came from beef or mutton suet or yeah, whatever, suet. Don't at me. But it was completely edible. So you could steal the candles and just eat the candles to survive off of. And one thing I thought was kind of shitty was, I mean, yeah, he might have been hungry. Maybe that's why he was stealing it. Or maybe he was just being a dick and he wanted to scare the pants off the children that were afraid of the dark. I guess it depends on which way you look at it.
Yeah, I feel like the mother really isn't that involved. So I feel like these children are just going out getting what they need for necessities.
Oh, yeah. Well, Gryla's a dick.
Except for the creepy peeping Toms, but maybe he's just getting stuff to sell to go buy what he wants. Maybe he wants Burger King. He doesn't want any of this
What
stuff.
if he's not even a peeping Tom? What if he's looking through the windows for things to steal and say somebody is getting undressed and he's like, oh dear, and he covers his eyes? Because he's like, he's got peeping through this one eye, through his fingers or whatever. But maybe he doesn't look when people are getting chased. He just wants to know what he can steal. But one thing my boyfriend told me was we were talking about feeling safe in the house, and my whole house is surrounded by security cameras. I got a security system in my house. I've got a dog that'll eat your face off. I'm set there. And so I was like, oh, I don't really have anything worth stealing anyway. And he looks at me and he's like, well, sometimes the important things to steal are not monetary. And I was like,
so you're back to thinking he's a perv.
I was like, oh, so maybe he is a perv. I don't know. But those are the Yule lads, the little impish spawns of Gryla the witch. Any family would not be complete without a family pet.
Exactly.
And this particular family has a badass pet called the Yule cat.
Yeah, they do.
And this thing's supposed to be just absolutely massive and vastly vicious. I mean, this thing is, for all intents and purposes, a fucking monster.
I'd catch it.
Yeah, they say its fur is said to be sharp like needles, and it sports this staggeringly sharp whiskers and claws. Now, sounds badass, right? I'm picturing this big, giant black cat with needle sharp, porcupine type, super sharp. It's got these massive claws. I'm guessing these gnarly fangs, and it's just hunting you down. But what's kind of giving me a little bit of a chuckle here is this ferocious feline is said to go into these towns and devour anyone who does not get new clothing for Christmas.
Okay, so it's a fashion-forward cat.
And here we go with our consumerism. Go listen to Creep It Weird, and you will hear my 10-minute rave about how much Christmas does not need to be.
Are you in a better mood today? By the way, you seem like it. Oh my gosh, you were losing your mind yesterday.
Oh my God, I was so pissed.
I feel like you needed a pizza or something.
I was up on my high horse, but today my boyfriend took me out. We went to an arcade and he took me to lunch. So it's been a really good day for me.
Good.
It was great. It was a good time. I was a little tired by the end of it.
I hate Christmas. I hate crabs. Don't get presents. No white elephant.
Yeah, I don't like Christmas. I don't like the fact that it's all about gifts and people are only nice during like 2 or 3 weeks out of the year.
Not everybody is like that, though. A lot of people do a lot of charity, but don't say it because you're not supposed to say when you do charity. You're supposed to keep it to yourself and just do it. We all know that they do. Well, they're beeping their own horn, but we're not going to get onto this gravy train because I spent way too much time on it. On Creep It Weird. But what I thought was crazy about this one is it just says new clothes. It doesn't say that you need to acquire a whole new wardrobe. A simple scarf or a pair of socks will do the trick. What is it? Master gave Dobby a sock. Many believe that the Yule Cat lore was actually created to keep the poor members of the community working extra hard, longer hours to make enough money to purchase a new item of clothing for everyone in their family to ensure their safety. Again, consumerism. Surprise, surprise. Let's buy some shit. We've got to make these people so scared they got to buy all this shit. That is not what it's about. Survival, people. Survival. But anyway, safety for the families. All you need is a scarf or a sock or something. So what if you get a new bra or something that he can't see? Is he still going to eat you though? How will he know? Maybe he can sniff it out. Maybe he takes door sniffer and he's like, how fresh is this bra? Because let me tell you, ladies, men don't understand. Ladies will understand. When you have that bra that you love so much, like once you wash it, you can't get it back. Mm-hmm. You just cannot do it. It doesn't matter if you machine wash a sport bra or you're hand washing in delicate soapy water. But man, when you wash those things, that water is black. It's black. It's so gross. It looks like dirty suds just think about that. It is so nasty to wash a bra. Speaking of, I need to do that actually, but it's a little late now. I'll do that next weekend. Next weekend, I'll wash my bras. All right.
But here on the podcast, we know bras and no pants. I mean, we're just losing layers as the show goes on, I guess. But that's the thing that I think is so weird. But it doesn't matter if it's one article of clothing, what article of clothing. It just says any piece of clothing. And I did want to kind of go out on this too. We have all this information that we've unpacked, but there's a little bit of additional stuff that I wanted to point out. In 1746, the original stories of the Yule lads and the Yule cat were legally banned. So, because it was freaking people out so much.
That's hilarious.
And then in 200 years, the Yule lads would turn from, these horrible, troublemaking little beings to more of a candy ass version for the faint hearted people, AKA the Keebler elves or Santa's elves. So they got taken out of context, kind of like the Brothers Grimm fairy tales.
Yeah.
And then they spruced them up, made them fluffy because,
they had a lot of dark things around Christmas before in Victorian all over.
Yeah.
Like if you look at old Victorian Christmas cards, they have like goblins, skeletons all over them. And that's what they were sending to each other. And they used to sit around the fireplace on Christmas Eve and tell ghost stories because they felt that ghosts like roam more at that time.
Yeah.
So that way you can kind of like scare them off a little bit and they won't come bother you.
But that's what I have on the Yule lads and the Yule cats. So what do you think? What are your thoughts on these little troublemakers and their pet cat and their horrifying parents?
Well, the kids all seem like they're desperate because Gryla is just a horrible mother. Because the father, like you said, he's hands off. So he seems like he's not really part of it. So they're just letting these children run wild and they're trying to fend for themselves. So I understand that.
The moral of the story should be more like, this is what happens with childhood trauma.
Yeah, take care of your kids.
Yes, exactly.
And I love the cat.
I love the cat. I know that you're very partial to cats and stories. You like the monster cats and all that stuff.
I love that he's so into fashion.
Yes, and it's just like you have to have new. It doesn't say it's got to be pretty or name brand.
Oh, he cares if it's pretty because look at him. He has that whole unique like sweater, spiky sweater look. He's going around making sure other people are looking good for Christmas too.
Imagine he goes in there and it's like, hey, I don't see any new clothes here. And then he just like rolls over on them and they're like covered in spikes and they're like bleeding out on the back of this cat, which is a really morbid picture. But it's like, just rolls through the house and just scoops everybody up like a bunch of kebabs.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of gross, but it was kind of a funny picture in my head.
But he's keeping the village fashionable.
Yeah, that's true. We got to be on our best behavior, right? You got to encourage people to move there. Consumerism. Mm-hmm. You got to have people there so they can spend money.
Oh my gosh. Are you always as grumpy around Christmas?
Yeah, most of the time. Actually, not usually. It's just to me, it's just another season. It's not anything big. I don't know. It's never really been my gig. I'm more of the Halloween kind of gal, but
I love both of them.
So out of all of these, which one do you think would be the easiest to deal with?
Probably the sheep chaser. Just don't have sheep at your house.
Yeah, but you rely on that sheep for wool, for clothing, to keep the Yule cat away.
Okay, well, if you do rely on them, then to keep the Yule cat away, to get that sweater for that Yule cat, probably the creepy one. Just put some blinds in your window. The perv.
Yeah, that is a good point. I would probably say, if I had to pick one, assuming that it is in moderation and not sucking everything dry, I would probably say the milk guy. Because if he's just taking a little bit and you got a lot of cow, it's not a big deal. Because he's a little fella. He's not going to take that much to fill up.
If he's taking enough for his brothers, then I'd be like, go ahead. You don't have a mother that's taking care of you.
Yeah. There's no B&E into the house. They're not stealing pots or pans or cups or bowls or spoons or whatever. He's just like, dude, let me just get a little sippy sip off this nip and then I'll be on my way. Well, that's okay. If you breastfeed and you don't call it a sippy sip from the nip, all right. The sippy nippy. Trademark, do not name a sippy cup after that. I will totally be all over this. I need a sippy nip.
Right.
I need a this is just getting weird. Okay, we're going down the rabbit hole. Back it up. Now, which one do you think would be the worst one to deal with?
The door slammer.
Yeah, I'd say that one's probably, or the sausage swiper, because meat is harder to come by.
It's harder to come by. Back then, I'd probably be more down for it, but they always use like sheep intestines to stuff them with and stuff. I wouldn't be eating them back then.
They still do.
I don't eat sausages.
Oh. Sausage.
Sausage.
So my kitties call it sausage. All right, so we have easiest, worst, and would you rather have the Yule lads celebrated in your house, or would you rather have Elf on a Shelf?
Elf on a Shelf was a lot of work, but it was a lot of fun. Coming up with new ideas, but then some nights when you fell asleep and didn't do it, and you're like, oh shit, and you got to get up first thing in the morning and fix it.
I never did that. I actually had a lady who was so sick of doing it that she made her elf break a leg so that he had to have his foot elevated for the rest of the season.
That's horrible.
Like she put a little popsicle stick cast on him.
Ah, that's
And
messed
put him
up.
but he had a little like dollhouse chair and his little foot was up and it was like, sorry, Santa says I can't, whatever. I have to keep my foot elevated. It was cute how she did it, but I never did it, thank God, because I don't have that kind of fucking patience. I do have the creativity, but not the patience.
But the kids, when they woke up in the morning and saw what he was doing, it was like their faces were just lit up and they loved it. If they still believed, I'd do Elf on the Shelf. I should bring it back anyways for my older kids and just make them deal with it.
They would probably enjoy it still. I just never got into it.
You're the Grinch.
I'm not the Grinch. It's a lot of unnecessary effort.
I just feel like all around Christmas, you're the Grinch.
No, I will say, go way back in the time machine to the very beginning. Go check out my TikTok, my Instagram, my Facebook. Go check all that out and go, because when I debuted, before I sent my pilot episode out on Christmas Day of 2023, for 12 days before, I did videos of each Yule lad and did like a prank on my feed and posted the little short video of each one.
Those were really funny.
So much fun doing that. I wonder if I can repost the videos, if I can download them and repost them.
Don't recreate them. Update them, new ones.
Update them, but that's a lot of effort. And I don't know where my baby cow went.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know where my baby cow went.
Have your son dress up like a cow. Put on a cow.
That's gross. I don't want to.
Well, you just have a bucket under him and grab it. You don't have to make it weird.
I had a little tiny like sauce cup that I put milk in. And like put it next to a little toy cow and like pulled it away like it was stealing the milk.
Mm-hmm.
I'll probably just redo the videos. But I even had one where like I licked the door frame or I sniffed the door frame and then I like licked the spoon. That just sounds really kind of into some weird person's kink. Okay, well, whatever, toot your whistle, I guess. But definitely did that and it was so much fun. But that's what I have on the Yule lads and the Yule cat. But that being said, we're gonna go ahead and wrap this up.
Thank you everybody so much for listening. Till next time. Bye.